Good afternoon, Prime Minister. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you here today. This is the second time you will address this Council after your landmark visit in 2007. This demonstrates the role you have played in the deepening of the NATO-Japan partnership. Your visit is all the more timely given the background of your new national security strategy, which emphasizes your vision for Japan's proactive contribution to peace. Prime Minister, our partnership is grounded in our shared values. The 28 NATO allies represented around this table and Japan are like-minded. We are democratic countries founded on the same view of upholding individual liberty and human rights. We share the belief that the international order should rest on multilateral cooperation, the primacy of international law, and the importance of human rights. We share security challenges as well as a determination to work together. That is why I called Japan and NATO natural partners when I enjoyed your hospitality in Tokyo last year. During that visit, we concluded a joint political declaration which reaffirmed the common values that bring together Japan and NATO. It included welcome steps to make our bond more visible, and it spelled out our determination to work more closely together. On that basis, a few minutes ago, we signed an individual partnership and cooperation program which will serve as a practical roadmap for our joint activities. Je tiens à exprimer notre gratitude.
I would like to express our gratitude for the noteworthy contributions provided by Japan for NATO initiatives. Your country played an essential role in Afghanistan in support of other international efforts, in particular those of ISAF and of NATO. And in that regard, I would like to highlight with the utmost appreciation the billions of dollars that Japan made available in order to support small local projects through the provincial reconstruction teams, as well as the financial support that Japan continues to provide for the Afghan National Security Forces. Mr. Prime Minister, we are eager to hear your views on bilateral relations between NATO and Japan, as well as on your country's strategic environment.
Prime Minister, the floor is yours.
Secretary General Rasmussen, thank you very much for your warm words of welcome. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Japan is ready to carry out what is required of it on the international level. That is a statement I made in 2007 when I had the honor of being the first Japanese Prime Minister to deliver an address at the North Atlantic Council. 7 years have passed, and I have returned once again to this venue to address you as the Prime Minister of Japan. It gives me great pleasure to state that Japan, having hosted the banner of proactive contributor to peace based on the principle of international cooperation, is now fulfilling the commitment I made 7 years ago. Over the almost 70 years since the end of World War II, Japan has followed the path of a peace-loving nation and consistently made efforts to realize the fundamental values such as freedom, democracy, human rights, and the rule of law embodied in the United Nations Charter. Japan will continue to adhere steadfastly to this course into the years to come. At the same time, Japan has made steady contributions to world peace and stability across various individual fields, from international peace cooperation, disarmament, non-proliferation, counterterrorism, and advancement of human security to disaster management cooperation. In Cambodia, Golan Heights, Haiti, and South Sudan, as well as in the Indian Ocean for the fight against international terrorism, and Iraq for providing reconstruction assistance. As many as 50,000 members of the self-defense forces since the end of the Cold War have worked for peace in such locations. Japan is shouldering roughly 11% of the total UN PKO budget, a figure second only to the United States. Japan has carried out more than 300 billion of ODA in total to 190 countries and regions to date. Japan's ODA marks its 60th anniversary this year. Looking back, we see that Japan has extended hands of assistance to our friends in Asia and elsewhere around the world since the time when Japan was still impoverished after the war. On the foundation of this kind of unwavering path we have followed as a peace-loving nation, Japan will commit even more strongly than ever before fostering global peace and prosperity. Moreover, I believe that Japan should play a more proactive role in order fully to defend freedom of overflight, freedom of navigation, and other global commons. This is the proactive contribution to peace that I have been advocating. I have articulated my determination in this regard by setting forth Japan's first-ever national security strategy. Japan has also prepared a new structure in order to realize the strategy without fail. All important decision-making is now undertaken flexibly by the National Security Council, which is under my direct supervision. Japan is a natural partner of NATO. This was what Secretary General Rasmussen has stated. I agree wholeheartedly. Why Japan and NATO? Under the diplomacy that takes a panoramic perspective of the world map, European countries are partners with which we, together with our ally, the United States, share common values. Moreover, NATO is an alliance that transcends the Atlantic Ocean to connect the United States and Europe, espousing the principle of an alliance based on values. A Japan that takes a panoramic perspective of the world map, a Japan that puts the policy of proactive contribution to peace into practice to contribute to world peace and prosperity. For this kind of Japan, NATO, which shares our fundamental values, is indeed our natural partner. Together, we triumphed in the Cold War.